Hello everyone, welcome back. We are doing a reaction video today. I am looking at things that you have tagged me on from all around the internet. Tagged me on, tagged me in, or sent to me. Listen, if you ever want to send me something to react to, go to my Instagram, RobertWLSH, or my TikTok, which I can't remember, it's always on the screen, and send me it in a message. Send me the link in a message with a little note of what it is, because some people get mad and they block me. If you don't know me, my name's Robert Welsh. I'm a professional makeup artist here on YouTube, and also in real life. It's my goal to help you become near enough a pro yourself, or just someone who's really good at makeup. And as I always say, creativity and individuality have no rules, but makeup has a theory, and we are looking at that in these videos. Shall we just start? Let's take a look at this.
Viral makeup hacks that actually work. If your foundation is really yellow like this, take some purple blush and add a couple of dots and mix together. And now you have
Colour theory could do with a little bit more purple, but yes.
Perfect match. This is how yellow the foundation was before. If you have a breakout that you want to cover up, take some highlighter and apply it on top of the breakouts. Now take a full coverage concealer and apply it on top. Set it very lightly with powder, and then you can apply your foundation.
The highlight is a bit of an unnecessary step. Highlighters work when they reflect light, right? If you're covering it completely with a concealer, a full coverage concealer, or any concealer in general, which is made to be full of coverage, you're blocking that highlight. So now what's the benefit of the highlight underneath? Because it's completely blocked out. Any unnecessary steps on top of acne, on top of spots and things like that, especially when they become a little bit crusty, any unnecessary steps are exactly that, just completely unnecessary.
And now you have a flawless base. If your cream products have dried out, instead of throwing them away, grab a milky toner, add a couple of drops, and
please don't do this. Please don't do this. Please don't do this. Milky, okay, products have different preservatives. Okay, you've ruined the product if you do this, basically. I know it was a trend a little while ago, but you've ruined the product. Milky, take some out and mix it with a milky toner on something else, but directly in the compact. Remember, makeup and skincare is a science. There are preservatives in products. Sometimes if you mix a formula with something else, those preservatives can become obsolete, and they do not work. Not obsolete. They just, what's it called? They don't work anymore the way they should. So everything now is compromised and at risk of either getting moldy, doing something to your skin. It's not a good match.
It's as good as new. To make your eyelash band look invisible, grab some tape and tape your upper lashes like this. Now take your individual lashes and apply the lashes underneath like this. Now take the tape off, pinch the lashes to make sure that everything is stuck, and now the lash band is hidden. If your glasses always disturb the foundation underneath, take some loose powder and add it to this part of the glasses, and also add a little bit extra to your nose. Now your foundation will not move.
Some good advice and some advice that you shouldn't take, like most of the internet, right? And just a little message to any content creators whose content maybe appears in this: please do not feel like I am attacking you personally. I do not know you. I am just talking about the makeup from a professional's point of view, okay? So this comes up a lot. It says POV, not saying influencers don't deserve PR. Sometimes they don't. But the artists using these products on paying clients every weekend should be part of a conversation too. Yes, but let's talk about what PR is, right? PR is part of a marketing. I'm saying this as a professional makeup artist and also a content creator. PR is the advertising budget of a company. When you are doing an advertisement or an ad, what do you want? You want people to see the ad, right? So unless you are a professional makeup artist with a huge following, PR would be seen by the brand, I'm not saying this, to be wasted on you. Because they can send the PR to an influencer who has hundreds of thousands of followers or millions of followers. More people are going to see them opening that PR or using that PR in one video than you have clients for the whole year, right? 1 million people might see them opening that PR. Do you have 1 million clients that year? And yes, the makeup artist can get really good use out of products, as in they're going to use a whole thing up, the full shade range. But point being, again, this is a brand's advertising budget. It's not a nice gift. I mean, it is a nice gift. They don't see it as doing an influencer a favor and sending them a nice gift. They hope that somebody shows it and uses it, because it is part of the advertising budget. So I see this a lot. Yes, makeup artists should be part of a conversation. In the ideal world, they would get sent shade ranges from everyone, you know? But at the end of the day, the brand wants as many people to see that PR and their product as possible. And at the moment, what are those numbers? Followers on Instagram, followers on TikTok, followers on YouTube. They want followers, they want people to see. So as nice a sentiment it would be if brands were to send things to professional makeup artists. Like back in the day, that's how it used to be. I used to get PR by phoning the advertising company for the brand and saying, this is the credit I had in the magazine. Can I have some product? And they would send it to you. That's how it used to work way back in the day, and it wasn't PR. Oh, I guess it kind of was. That's how it was. So makeup artists did used to get it back in the day. But now people aren't looking at that tiny little credit in the magazine. They're looking at the people that they see daily on their phones. And sorry, when I talk about this, I sound really moody. But, you know, I would love for makeup artists in a professional world to be constantly given makeup, but that is just not how it is. And that's not the budgets of the brands. So you need to see it from not in an ideal world point of view, but from a literal point of view. That's how that works. And actually giving you the makeup, if you do not have loads of followers, is not beneficial to the brand. I know that's horrible to say. Sorry, I just wanted to add to this bit of a video as well, just while I'm sitting here editing. I've had a conversation with some makeup artists about this, and they also say like, yeah, you know, makeup artists are working with people every day, so they get to test a product on people and, you know, they can give feedback, which is another great point, but brands have that in their budget when they're making these products in the first place. They're not going to put out a finished product and be like, okay, now let's test it with a makeup artist. It's tested beforehand, you know? So a good point again, but also it's an unnecessary step that a brand don't need to take. So she has a milky toner, like we saw at the beginning when that girl was pouring it into her product, but she's applied it to the back of her hand and she's using it to blend her complexion products. And you might think I'm going to talk shit about this, but I actually really like this technique because, let me explain why. I love milky toners on the skin anyway, especially for people with oilier skin, drier skins. Milky toners are great. And what I really like about this is she's not doing it on a full face. She's not mixing it in with her product. This is a very controlled application. I don't usually like people drawing makeup on their face beforehand, but look at the amount of product. The concealer is minimal, the blush minimal, the bronzer minimal, and not minimal in a way where it's like it has to be natural, minimal in comparison to the amounts that people use usually, which is usually far too much, even for full coverage. And blending in that milky toner, if you never used a milky toner before, get on it because they are beautiful. And blending this out would make for a beautiful finish. In fact, I'm going to try it one day and I'm going to stick it in here. Let's have a look. Now, I'm not usually one for makeup hacks like this, and I hate it when people pour milky toners into their actual product because you're just ruining the whole product. But I'm imagining that milky toner texture, that formula, blending everything in, and I think it might be really nice. I'm going to use the Nature's Cream Skin Toner and Moisturizer for this. Back of a hand. Okay, I think I might have wet the brush too much. Okay, no, learning curve. I wet the brush too much, my forehead looks red. So I'm gonna use the Cream Mist spray instead so I can spray the brush. A little bit more control. And I reckon a small amount at a time. That's much better. I'm just changing up the brush for the concealer. I think it looks nice. I think that looks really, really nice. And as an oily person, it doesn't feel greasy or oily or heavy on the skin. It actually feels nice and smooth. I'd probably use a different bronzer color. I would maybe add a little bit of concealer on top. Look how glowy and nice that looks. Imagine if I covered that blemish, I had a better bronzer shade. I think controlled. This could be a really good hack. So this is a test that you see quite often online where people take concealers or foundation or even skincare and they lay it out on these oil blotting papers and kind of show you how much oil is in that concealer or whatever, and how it's going to work with your skin. I can tell you this is categorically a terrible concept. A terrible experiment, and actually a completely useless experiment. You can't determine how much oil is in this product or how oily it's going to make your skin just by looking at this. This like ring around the paper is not like a chemical analysis. It's not an ingredient analysis of how effective this will be on your skin after 12 hours, after how long. It does not identify what products in that product have migrated into that paper, or how much oil is present in that product, or how the oil is going to interact with your skin. Your skin is not blotting paper. It's not a mirror. It's not a lemon. It's not whatever these people decide to do this experiment on. Your skin has texture, moisture, body heat, skincare underneath, pores, lots of different things going on compared to paper. Your product you're using as well is also treated differently on your skin. It's blended out into a thin layer and allowed to set. It's not sitting as a blob on your skin. And you also need to factor in your skin type, the environment you're in, how you've prepped your skin, how the formula will set over several hours. So no, this large ring does not prove that the foundation, concealer, moisturizer, sunscreen, whatever product it is excessively oily, right? Or not oily, depending on the size of a ring. Only relevant test is a wear test on your skin, right? Look at the finish, the texture, the separation, how it sits on you after several hours or however long you're wearing it for. The test might look, dramatic visually and like it's telling you something, but it's not. It's nothing. It does not tell you anything about how that product will perform. And I actually think this video is from a makeup artist, which I'm actually very surprised at. I might be making that up because I feel like you should know that. So she's put an eyeliner on her face and she's testing it with a Sephora spray and a She Glam setting spray. Sephora one smudges. Locked by She Glam. And it's not coming off. That is a really long-lasting liner. You don't need to set it with setting spray, which I get the experiment here, right? But you're not going to, you shouldn't spray setting spray on top of long-lasting products or products that are formulated to be long-lasting for the eyes, right? Like you wouldn't put on a long-lasting matte liquid lipstick and then put on a gloss that isn't formulated with it or part of a duo and then without thinking that it's going to break down that long-lasting formulation. You know what I mean? So you wouldn't put on a liquid liner, spray it with anything, and expect it to last a long time. So I don't really like that experiment because that's a product that doesn't need the setting spray. Also, no one is rubbing your skin that hard ever. Also, what I would add as well is that it almost looks as though she hasn't given time for it says Sephora, but it's a Huda Beauty spray because it has that pump, right? She hasn't given time for it to dry down because you can see here it's like mixing and wet. So she hasn't actually let it set down. If you wet something that is long lasting, of course, it is going to come off. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, so the reason I don't like this test is because you're compromising a product that is meant to be long lasting. And I know that the test isn't whether or not the liner lasts a long time, it's the effectiveness of a setting spray, but I do see some shenanigans going on with the dry down time of this spray. Just saying. Because why is the makeup not getting involved when she does this? On this side, we can see foundation is running into when she does it on the side that smudges, we can see that there's foundation getting in the mix. So it's wet. So and everything dries down when you spray it on her face. Every spray is going to dry down. So why are we not getting why is nothing else wet on this side? And when she wets it, it moves too. You see what I'm saying? And then she kind of proves this at the end because she wets her finger and then smudges it and then it starts to smudge. Just a little bit damp from her finger, whereas the other side was wet with a spray. So I don't believe that this was a fair setting spray. And I feel like this could have been an ad for the brand. All right. Let me know your opinions down below. As I said, if you see anything that you want me to look at, just tag me in it or send it to me in a message on my socials here. I'll see you very soon. Bye.